The Athens Board of Zoning Appeals operates according to the following procedure. The chair will name and describe the case. The zoning administrator or secretary will state the basis of the objection and any applicable facts or conditions pertaining to the case. The appellant or their representative will give reason why the appeal should be viewed favorably. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of the request will be heard. Anyone wishing to speak in general comment will be heard. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition will be heard. If necessary, the appellant or their representative will offer concluding, summary, or rebuttal remarks. Testimony from the floor shall be closed. The board will deliberate and render a decision. According to Athens City Code, Section 23.07.03b, the board has power to grant variances from the strict application of the code, provided the variance will not be contrary to the public interest, the spirit of the code is observed, public safety and welfare are secured, and substantial justice is done. According to Athens City Code, Section 23.07.10c, variances from the code shall not be granted unless the board makes specific findings of fact based directly on the particular evidence presented to it, that the standards and conditions imposed in this title, if applicable, have been met by the applicant. Exceptional circumstances. There are exceptional or extraordinary circumstances or conditions applying to the property in question or to the intended use of the property that do not apply generally to other properties or classes or uses in the same zone. Practical difficulty and undue hardship. Because of exceptional or extraordinary circumstances or conditions pertaining to a specific piece of property, a literal enforcement of these regulations will result in practical difficulty or undue hardship that is unnecessary to the achievement of public purposes. Preservation of equal property rights. Literal interpretation of these regulations would deprive the appellant of rights commonly enjoyed by others in the same zone and the same vicinity, while a granting of the requested variance will not confer on the applicant any special privilege that is denied to other properties in the same zone and the same vicinity. Minimum variance. The variance granted is the minimum variance required to make possible the reasonable use of the property. Absence of detriment. The authorizing of such variance will not be of substantial detriment to adjacent property and will not materially impair the purpose of the zoning code or the public interest. Not of a general nature. The condition or situation of the specific piece of property or the intended use of said property for which variance is sought, one or the other or in combination, is not of so general or recurrent a nature as to make reasonably practicable the formulation of a general regulation for such condition or situation. Any person, resident, or officer, department, or appointed body of the City of Athens, aggrieved by a decision of the Board, may petition the Athens County Court of Common Pleas concerning the illegality of the decision. Such petition must be filed within 30 days after the mailing of the decision of the Board to the applicant. Thank you.
Hearing would be on property at 25 Eden Place. The board is required to take testimony under oath. Would anyone wishing to speak concerning any item of the agenda please stand? Do you swear or affirm that any testimony you will present to the board will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. Please be seated. Thank you. Okay, the first case is case number 18-28V, the property at 69 North Congress Street, Zone R3. And we have in here Kenneth E. Ryan / Mr. John and Ms. Joyce Wharton, the appellants. The appellant is requesting a variance or variances from ACC 2310 Table A, a schedule of bulk controls to allow alteration of a duplex with a front setback of 2 feet where 25 feet is the minimum requirement, a left side setback of 11 feet, where 12 feet is the minimum requirement, a rear setback of 30 feet, where 40 feet is the minimum requirement, and from ACC 2310 Table B, off-street parking requirements, to allow 3 parking spaces where 7 parking spaces is the minimum requirement. Mr. Reichenbacher, any comments?
I'll leave the specifics of the
Okay.
alterations to Mr. Wharton. I just wanted to point out that the footprint of the building will remain the same.
Right.
It's all interior alterations, and the number of parking spaces isn't changing. It was 3 before, it'll be 3 for this. Before, there were 9 tenants in the building, and now there will be 7.
Okay. Okay, so the number of tenants increased, is that what you say?
Decreased.
Okay.
Decreased, okay. So you said it used to be 3 parking spaces and it's gonna,
Still 3.
it's still 3.
It's not changing. The number of parking spaces isn't
But-
changing. It's just going to be for 7 tenants where it used to be for 9.
Okay. Mr. Wharton, would you come to the podium and state your name and address for the records and your case?
John Wharton, 82 North Court Street.
I guess I'll give you some background on the house. My wife and I and another couple, Tom Eslucker and his wife, bought this house in 1985, I think, roughly. From the actual owner-occupied, at the time, Mr. and Mrs. Ruman. We turned it into a duplex at that time, which is what it is still today, 69 to 69 and a half. At that time, you were required to have, I think it was 1 or 1.5 parking spaces per unit. So the 3 complied. It's a nice house, but in order to maximize rent, we had to get as many tenants in there as possible. So the basement was used as bedrooms, and it was safe. My son even lived there when he was in college. But to be safe, you have to have the window be within 42 inches of the floor. You have to have a pretty large window well. Window has to be a certain size, and then there has to be a ladder and for them to get out if there was some emergency, fire, whatever. It's problematic, even though you comply with those things. So, but over the years, we've owned this for a long time, and we've always been able to rent it because it's on Congress Street. Unfortunately, in the rental business, you sort of get what you got. It's a very popular street. A lot of people like living on Congress Street, someplace with a front porch. We've tried to make it as nice as possible by putting in a new kitchen with granite countertops, solid maple cabinetry, nice walk-in showers, but the tenants that we get there just tend to be destructive, and we're tired of it. So I thought it would be, we had to have, of course, 2 kitchens because it was a duplex. We have a kitchen upstairs and one down. The one upstairs is never used. The one we made real nice was downstairs, nice sized kitchen. So I decided I would rather have less tenants and try to have better tenants. And so I approached the city about turning it into just one house, not realizing at the time your rough draft of what I wanted to do has changed, because by going from 9 to 7, anything 6 and above, it's a rooming house with the state of Ohio. So forget that rough draft, okay? I went to RBC, and they're the architects I've pretty much used historically. And this is now my plan for the house. Would you like to see them? Okay. Basically, There, in the rear of the house is a screened-in porch that goes out the back. And my plans that I gave you, the plan was
We
simply...
didn't get any plans.
We didn't get
we didn't
plans?
get anything.
Oh,
Got
we should have got a sketch. I submitted it to the code office, so I just assumed you had it. Okay, this is the footprint of the building for the auditor's website. So this is Congress Street. This is the front porch, and the main building itself is here, including that. Then that's a screened-in porch. So the plan was to, and I had presented this to Rick, was to go to the second floor kitchen and create a hallway. Here it is. I did it to scale and everything. Create a hallway that would go back above that screened-in porch and add a bedroom, okay? And then convert that kitchen into also a staircase to go up to the attic so I could finish off the attic, okay? But since it became a rooming house, all that got set aside and I had to go see Penny at RBC. So that's why I have these elaborate plans now. The building, the good thing is all the tenants would be able to live above grade. The whole house will be sprinkled, which is a real plus. So it becomes a safer house, which will allow me to have a better caliber of tenant or quality of tenant. So I think it's a win-win for everybody. We're going from potentially 9 people down to 7. We're going from below 3 bedrooms being below grade to all tenants being able to main level and above. The whole house will be sprinkled, and nothing really. The height of the house does not change. The addition on the back isn't even as the roof isn't even as tall as the roof of the house. So really, the house itself is not going to become. The setbacks aren't changing. Front, back, side, nothing. We're just making the house better, I guess, is a real short way of explaining it. You're welcome to look at any of the pages you want, but that's
What do you have in there?
Oh,
Just one copy or for each of
actually,
us?
I'm sorry, what I knocked off there. A copy of my refusal when I...
Oh, yeah, we have those.
Just the
Okay.
sketch.
Yeah, any.
Oh, the sketch?
Okay.
Actually, this is
Yeah.
now supersedes my...
Yeah.
my
Okay,
little-
okay.
I thought initially I was going to be able to do this
Okay.
and get it approved. So
Okay.
this is all for naught at this point. This is all that matters
Okay.
now. Yeah.
Mr. Eschenbacher, do you need any of these copies of any of this?
No.
No? Okay, then you, we're gonna leave it in here for time being?
Yeah, you can keep those. I mean, I can get another copy from Benny
Okay.
if you want
I'm
them.
gonna pass it on in here, so.
Set it on down there.
Anything else you want to add before I ask you a few questions?
No, that's pretty much it. So
Okay.
far away.
What we have in here on the record of the refusal that I just found on alteration, it says, and I want to make sure that on the record we have all of these, to eliminate second floor kitchen.
Yes.
Okay. Alter interior to add access to a second floor bedroom above the existing porch.
Yeah, the existing screened-in porch, correct?
Okay. So that kitchen is not going to change into another bedroom, right?
No, it's no.
Okay.
Actually, the kitchen will become a hallway.
A hallway.
To the new bedroom above the screened-in porch, and
Okay.
then it'll have stairs that will take it up to the attic, where we will finish the attic as well.
Okay, okay.
The attic will obviously. I've already, with having to submit for state plans, I've already given it to Dennis Cornell, who's going to do the sprinkling system.
Okay, very good. And finally, eliminating basement bedrooms.
Correct.
Okay, very good. So now we have them on the record officially. Okay, you may be seated,
Okay.
and then we'll find out what others have to say on this. Did you have any questions for Mr. Wharton? No? Okay, at this time we'll be hearing anyone wishing to speak in favor of the request. Anyone wishing to speak in general comment? Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Okay, we don't have anyone. We're going to close the discussion from the floor. And unless there is any discussions, I need a motion.
I can do it.
Go ahead.
Pertaining to the property at 69 North Congress Street, I propose that we grant a variances from Athens City Code 2310, Table A, Schedule of Bulk Controls, to allow alteration of a duplex with a front setback of 2 feet where 25 feet is the minimum requirement, a left side setback of 11 feet where 12 feet is the minimum requirement, and a rear setback of 30 feet where 40 feet is the minimum requirement. And as well, a variance from Athens City Code 2310, Table B, off-street parking requirements to allow 3 parking spaces where 7 parking spaces is the minimum requirement.
I was wondering if you want to just add one word, the alteration plan as we discussed at the meeting.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. So to allow alteration of an existing duplex according to the plans
Discussed at the meeting.
discussed at our meeting, yeah.
I'll second.
Okay, very good. Okay, let's go over the findings. Again, before I go through the finding, this is one of those cases that we have discussed before when the appellant is trying to improve the property without adding anything, and then whatever was grandfathered, it will fall into this thing, whereas the property is being improved actually. So maybe someday we will fix that problem. Exceptional circumstances.
One could argue that that whole bit of Congress Street is exceptional because the lots are strangely shaped, the houses already exist, and so I think that is sufficient.
Practical difficulty and undue hardship. Again, if the appellant is trying to improve the property without any other change, that would be a hardship. This especially applies to the properties that are falling apart and they want to do some improvement, and according to this, they can't do it. Preservation of equal property rights. I guess we are not granting any additional privilege to this property. And is this the minimum variance?
Yes.
Yes. Absence of detriment, so there is none. And not of a general nature.
No.
Are we ready to vote?
Yep.
Yes.
All in favor of granting this variance, please raise your hand. You have 5-0. Congratulations.
That wasn't so bad, was it?
No, would you come back again?
I hope not. I'm done. My son's the developer. Do you want to keep those?
We want that. We don't.
We don't want, but code officer, if they want, they can.
No, we have.
Okay.
Okay.
There we are.
Typically, the way it works, I get my state permit, then I have to take it down
Right.
to them.
Yeah,
So
right.
That's what I plan to do.
So you saved some.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's go to case number 2. This is case number 18-29V, the property at 25 Eden Place. Zone is R1. Heritage Home Improvements is the appellant. The appellant is requesting a variance or variances from ACC 2310 Table A, a schedule of bulk controls to allow additions of a front porch, a back deck, and carport to a structure with a front setback of 22 feet, where 25 feet is the minimum requirement, a left side setback of 4 feet, where 5.5 feet is the minimum requirement, and a right side setback of 0 feet, where 5.5 feet is the minimum requirement. Mr. Reschenbacher, I don't know if you have this data, or maybe we can ask him. I'd like to know what the dimensions of the front porch and the back deck are now, and what is the proposed. I wasn't clear on from the drawings that what was there. The front porch, what is the current size?
There really isn't one.
5.5 by 5.5.
And what is the proposed?
I mean, that is the proposed.
That is the proposed?
Yeah. You'll have to check with the appellant about the.
Yeah, there really is no front porch.
Yeah, I think all these things are going to be additions.
They're going to be additions. Okay, okay, very good. And then is that property 27 Eden is on the side that is going to be the carport?
No. It's Jacobs.
Okay,
Yeah, it's Jacobs on the corner.
on the corner, okay. All right. All right, sir, you may come to the podium, state your name and the address for the records.
Nathan Klink, 7225 Beechwood Drive. I'm seeking a variance for 3 different projects on 25 Eden: front porch, carport, and the back deck. The front porch, it's a stoop, it's falling apart. We'd like to just rebuild it the same size it is now and just add a gable roof above it, just to allow those entering and exiting the home just the ability to stay out of the weather. The second is the carport. There's already a blacktop asphalt driveway there that runs to the back of the house, and we would just be putting the carport over the blacktop that is there currently. And the last is the back deck. There's currently probably a 4x4, 5x5, again concrete stoop that's falling apart, and we would just like to add a 12x12 deck back there, but because of the size of the house and the placement of it and the size of the lot, we can't do any of the above. These projects are a lot bigger, a part of a much bigger dream for the home. They want to do a new roof, new siding, new windows, pretty much a new interior of the whole house. They just bought it, and they're kind of taking a very
step by step
neglected house, and they're wanting to bring it modern and kind of add an asset to the Eden Street and the East Side neighborhood. And by getting these variances, it would kind of allow them to kind of have their dream come true.
Okay. I did not see the property, but the reason I ask about the existing one you have in here, you say I am looking to increase the size of the front porch.
Oh.
So there is no porch then, right?
There's no porch, and it's just a front stoop. I guess it's a concrete front stoop, and the size of that's not going to increase.
Oh, okay.
It'll stay the same, and just add a gable roof above it.
And you also said increase the size of the back deck.
Yes.
Yeah. This carpool is going to be also covered, right, or it's going to be open?
It would be just a roof structure above it.
Okay.
Is it with poles or bricks?
It would be poles.
Okay, and then you have a driveway to going into it. Okay. Again, I didn't see your property, but when you say it was boring, what was the boring thing about it?
It's just a very plain Jane, cookie cutter ranch style house.
Just a square building, huh?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think we have anyone who wants to speak on behalf or in general comment or opposition. So, do you have any last words?
I don't.
Okay, please be seated. It seems to me pretty straightforward. You need a motion.
Okay. I move that the Board of Zoning Appeals grant a variance from ACC 2310 Table A at the property at 25 Eden Place for schedule of bulk controls to allow additions of front porch, back deck, and carport to a structure with the front setback of 22 feet, where 25 feet is the minimum requirement, a left side setback of 4 feet, where 5.5 feet is the minimum requirement, a right side setback of 0 feet, where 5.5 feet is the minimum requirement.
Second, anyone?
I second.
Okay, John Goodicons, second. Exceptional circumstances. Are there any exceptional or extraordinary circumstances or conditions applying to property in question or to the intended use of the property that do not apply generally to other properties or classes or uses in the same zone? These are, again, minimum. I think you should be able to get to the door without getting all soaked wet. And the back deck is also minimal. Although the carpool, it will create a parking or a place to a space to, you're currently parking in that spot, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything more on the exceptional circumstances? What about practical difficulty? Will we create practical difficulty or undue hardship if we go strictly by the rules?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Preservation of equal property rights.
Yeah.
A minimum variance.
Yes.
It is minimum. Absence of detriment.
No
No
detriment.
detriment.
Not of a general nature.
No.
No. Are you all ready to vote?
Yeah.
All in favor of granting the variance, please raise your hand. You got the variance 5-0. Congratulations. Okay, the last item on the agenda is to disposition of the minutes from December 11, 2018. Those of you who were here, did you all read? Mm-hmm. Did you find anything?
Like,
Everything is fine? Okay, very good.
We have to move.
Do you have a motion?
I move to approve the minutes of December, whatever it was,
December 11.
11th, 2018.
I second.
Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes? We got 5-0. And then on February, we are doing the reorganization of the board. So if you guys...
Wait.
Okay, so are you nominating yourself or?
No.
Does that mean we have to pay you?
No. So again, please
Radical.
consider that position for next year, or this year actually, 2019. And if you're interested, let me know, and I will make the nomination. Okay.
Thank you, John.
Okay, the meeting is adjourned.